takes a village to produce a design, from concept to realization. Everyone along the way seems to think of risk a little bit differently. Designers are both directly and indirectly involved with all these risk management methods. But it's important to understand who is looking at what type of information. Why? Because of communication. One group might think that risk management is covered in the way they're thinking it should be, when in actuality it's not. Let's talk about who does what with risk management and how designers fit into all that, right after this brief introduction.
Hello and welcome to Quality During Design, the place to use quality thinking to create products others love for less. My name is Diana. I'm a senior level quality professional and engineer with over 20 years of experience in manufacturing, design, and quality. Listen in and then join the conversation at qualityduringdesign.com.
If you're a designer, you probably work for a business and you probably work with a project manager to get projects done. You probably also work with somebody in sourcing or supplier management. And quality engineering and risk management. All of these functions look at risk management a little bit differently, and designers have input into all of them. Another important facet of that is that some of these risk management methods are inputs into the design. In business management and marketing, they look at risk management, but they're looking at it as risk management of public perceptions of a company. I attended an Institute for Internal Auditors conference, and I signed up for a seminar that was a panel discussion. There were 5 people talking about risk management. It was a very interesting panel discussion, and at the end of about 45 minutes, I raised my hand and asked a question. I asked, where do you get the data that you need to evaluate the risk to your business? After conferring with each other off mic for a little bit, they turned back to me, and one of them said, I use Twitter the most. And the other ones kind of shook their head and agree. I use Twitter the most also. So they are looking at data and information associated with the risk management of public perceptions of a company or maybe a CEO or a president. How do designers fit into that? If a company's products don't perform well in the field, then that reflects badly on the company. So they also monitor how people are interacting with the product and what they're saying about it. Designers also directly work with project managers, and project managers organize teams in order to meet deliverables. They also have a form of risk management, but it's risk to the project not getting done at a certain time. The things they try to manage are time, resources, and money. This does affect designers, and designers frequently have to communicate with project managers on those 3 facets. Designers also work with sourcing or supplier management people, and they look at risk management from a stability of suppliers kind of viewpoint. Is this supplier going to be able to supply the product that we need long term? Are they going to be able to produce the type of volume that we need? And also, what is the price stability going to be? As designers, you probably need to work with a supplier management person. Sometimes at the beginning of a project, you'll be given a list of suppliers that you can choose from. These are the list of suppliers that we have agreements with. This is who you must use. You may have to work with a supplier management person in order to draft up supplier quality agreements. And finally, we get to what I feel is like the elephant in the room, which is FMEA, Failure Mode Effects Analysis. And this is something that designers should be the most directly involved in. FMEA is an analysis that evaluates potential failures, their effects, causes, and ways to control them. There are different types of FMEAs depending on what you're designing. You could have a design FMEA, or you could have an FMEA that focuses on the user process. What could go wrong when the user is using your new device? Or it could be on the manufacturing process. FMEAs are required by regulated industries like medical devices, automotive, aeronautics. These industries have to have an FMEA on file because it shows evidence to third-party auditors that risk management is an input into the design process and is maintained continually for post-market surveillance. Now, what is interesting about all these levels of risk management is that the FMEA that the designers are most directly involved with, they can apply the risk management of suppliers, and it can affect the risk management that project managers are trying to control, and it can also directly affect the risk management of a business for public perceptions. The FMEA that a designer does with their quality reliability engineer is a big input into the design process and can really have a big effect on how a product design functions. Is it safe? Can it be easily used? And is it dependable?
So where does all this leave us? Well, you can start thinking about FMEA as a holistic approach to risk management for a business, and can and should interface with risk management initiatives in other business systems. Take care to make your FMEA the best it can be. Maintain it, use it, and share it with other functions because risk management matters. What can you do today? If you're a designer and don't know what an FMEA is, then I encourage you to look into it more. Ask a quality engineering professional about it or reach out to me. It is the most valuable risk management tool for designers. If you already use FMEA, then take a look at your current FMEA you may be developing. Do you see the potential risks that can affect business, marketing, project, and supplier management? If so, communicate it with your cross-functional team. As a designer, you have an important job and a unique perspective to analyze risk of your design and a responsibility to communicate it so everyone can help reduce risks. Now, please leave a comment at qualityduringdesign.com at this podcast blog. Tell us about a time you communicated risks to a project manager or supplier manager and what positive things came from it. This has been a production of Dini Enterprises. Thanks for listening.